Welcome back to In the Cage on ESPN 97.5 The Ticket. Now back to the Bud Light Studios with MMAcity.com. Here's Adam Villarreal.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the halfway point of In the Cage right here on ESPN's 97.5. Make sure you go to MMAcity.com and check out all your up-to-date MMA information, fights, stats, everything coming up. We got Nate, the great Marquardt, on the phone right now on ESPN's 97.5 In the Cage. Nate, what's up, man? How are you?
Oh, good, man. How you doing?
We're doing great, man. We're doing great. We got Melvin Gillard in the studio right now.
What's up, Nate?
Hey, what's up, man?
He's talking about his fight coming up next Wednesday against Nate Diaz. But, you know, we were talking about guys coming in with that game plan and how, you know, whatever they planned, they worked on, just didn't happen. And the way you knocked out Demian Maia at UFC 102 was just incredible, man. And, you know, for anyone who didn't see it, if you could just go ahead and give a quick rundown of how that fight went.
Yeah, I mean, it went well. Like, he came out and he threw a couple kicks, and I'd been working on this move to counter the kicks. And he stepped in the third time to throw the kick, and I countered it with a right overhand and just knocked him out with one punch.
Now, everybody came in, you know, of course, even, you know, Mike Goldberg, Joe Rogan, everyone keeps talking, oh, this guy's Hoist Gracie 2.0. There's jiu-jitsu this, jiu-jitsu that. But as we know, this is not a jiu-jitsu competition. It is a sport of mixed martial arts on the, you know, the greatest stage of the UFC. Tell me, I've read in the press that you were kind of a little disappointed that it didn't last long as far as the training you put in. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't disappointed. It was just one of those things where, you know, you train for so long for a fight, and then when it's over that quick, you kind of don't have that release that you usually have when you fight. So it's kind of a weird feeling, but it definitely is still a good feeling.
Okay, so if we look at your last few fights, you know, obviously Demian Maia, Wilson Govea, Martin Kampman, you've been winning. You've got such an amazing record right now. You fought some of the biggest and best in the sport of mixed martial arts. Tell me about a loss that you would like to go back and go ahead and rectify, aside from Anderson Silva. Tell me, what loss would you like to go back and vindicate yourself with?
If what now?
If you could go back and fix a loss, you know, against someone who beat you, with the exception, let's take Anderson Silva out of the equation, who would you want to go back and rematch?
That I don't really know. I mean, that's probably the only one that I can think of. I mean, ladies is my only other loss in the UFC, and I mean, that fight, anyone that saw it knows that I won that fight, so it's not really, I don't consider that a loss. So.
Well, tell me about, you know, the whole Anderson Silva fight. I know I've interviewed you before for Tap Out Magazine, and, you know, and you've obviously been very vocal about saying how, you know, you want to fight Anderson Silva, and you're not the same fighter, but tell me, as far as a rematch, where do you stand right now with the UFC on possibly getting that set up? Is that still a possibility?
Yeah, it's still a possibility. I mean, until one of us has our next fight signed, I mean, it's always a possibility. So my guess is it's going to be either Anderson or Dan Henderson. So I'm not really sure how it's going to go down, but I think either one of those fights would be great and definitely a big fight.
All right, as far as, you know, your weight division itself, guys, if you're just tuning in, our guest on the phone is Nate Marquardt. Tell me, who in your weight class right now do you see as someone being able to take on Anderson Silva, aside from yourself, or maybe even aside from Dan Henderson? Who do you see as a real contender for that?
I don't really see any other contenders right now. I mean, you know, and I think I don't think Dan has what it takes to beat him either. So I mean, I really think I'm the only guy that can do it. But I mean, Dan's definitely one of the top contenders. So.
Our guest on the phone right now is Nate Marquardt. Tell me, what would you change? What would make it different from the last fight to this fight if you were to fight Silva? What do you see being different in giving you that victory?
Well, I mean, I'm just a completely different fighter. I've improved substantially in all areas, and especially my stand-up game. And but the main thing is just my attitude going into the fights, my mental strength, and my attitude going into the fights. I'm looking for the finish. I'm looking for the knockout or the submission, and you know that just makes me so much more dangerous, and that's how I fight the best.
Now you have an amazing camp. I know you train with Greg Jackson's, and you obviously have different people you're training with. Tell me about your camp right now. Between fights, what are you doing?
Well, I mean, I'm still training. I'm still, I'm trying to get other guys ready for their fights. I didn't really take too much time off after this fight. I started back training that week. Mm-hmm. But like right now, I'm out in Toronto working on a small movie, a small part in a movie, and Keith and Rashad are up here, so hopefully I'll get to work out with them while I'm up here.
Tell me about the movie. What are you starring in?
Oh no, I'm not starring in. I'm just got a little part. It's a small film called Unrivaled. It's not going to be as big as the other one that I did called Warrior. So.
So give me an idea on the role. What can we expect from your character?
Actually, I don't really know. I haven't looked at the script yet, so.
So you're already out there ready to film, and you haven't looked at the script?
Yeah, I just got it. So.
Oh, okay. Well, man, we were just talking about fighters, like the movie Never Surrender. A lot of people, again, GSP, his voice was overdubbed. Rampage just got picked to do the A-Team. He's going to be the new Baracus. Now, what are your thoughts? I mean, obviously you're a UFC fighter who just took a movie role, but did you ever see Never Surrender?
No, I didn't. I heard it was pretty bad though.
And what about Rich Franklin's movie? Did you see the movie he came out in with the girl from Saved by the Bell? Tiffany Amber Thiessen, did you ever see that one?
No,
Okay. Well, a lot of, obviously MMA fighters, that was one of the big subjects earlier in the show, the transition. And let me ask you, do you ever feel pressure because, obviously, you don't come from an acting background, I'm assuming, right?
Correct.
Do you feel that kind of pressure when you get on, when the day comes when you do get on the set, which is probably going to be the next couple of days?
Yeah.
Are you going to feel a little bit more pressure, do you think, to deliver? Or what do you think is going to be going through your head?
No, not at all, actually. Actually, probably the opposite, just because it's not my profession, so, I don't feel like I have to impress anybody. I just try to do my best, and I think the last movie I did, Warrior, I think I did a really good job in that movie, and from what all the other stuntmen and the other actors were saying, was that I did a great job, so cool. I really think that it's going to turn out well. So, and same for this one. What's kind of the premise of this film that you're filming? Wait, you didn't read the script. Do you have an idea though of what the storyline's going to be like? Not really, not of this one. And to be honest, I don't know, with the movie Warrior, you're not really allowed to disclose any of that, anyways. It's kind of. Oh, I see. Yeah. And so Warrior at this point it's not been released yet, or? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I tell you what, Nate, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Tell me, how can fans check you out? Where can they get up-to-date information on you? Well, they can go to my Twitter. It's at Nathan Marquardt, or they go to my Facebook. Actually, I don't think it has a URL, but if you go to natemarquardt.com, my website is actually being updated right now, and probably within the next couple days, the new site will be up, and it's going to be linked to all my my MySpace and Twitter and Facebook and all that. So it'll be pretty good. That way you can reach me pretty easily. Awesome. Nate Marquardt, real quick, one last question. Dan Henderson, Anderson Silva, who wins? Dan Henderson and Anderson Silva? Yeah, if that fight happens, who wins? Anderson. Awesome. There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, Nate Marquardt. Nate, thanks so much, and best of luck on that movie set, man. Go break a leg. All right, cool. Thanks a lot, man. All right, man. Guys, there you go. Nate the Great Marquardt.